So we'll start off with the green flag lap of the driver of the year, and it's time to bring in the man himself, Bryson the Brick Walker. Brick, let's say, a very mixed bag of driver of the year nominations, but the results were interesting as always.
Yeah, the results were very interesting and very close all the way throughout as well. So swapping and changing all the way through, especially the top three, in terms of their votes. So in at third place, we've got Kieran Bowman, Slim, 178 from the Predators. Had a very good year, 20.28% of the votes. So took the eye of many, and yeah, a standout sort of year for him. My personal vote went to Kieran as well. So he took the third place there. 617, Jack Overy, the GOAT to many. Again, another fantastic year for Jack. Always comes away with some silverware. Obviously, World of Shale, Supreme Championship, to name just a few of the championships that is claimed this year. He took second place with 21.73% of the votes. And obviously, world champion Sid Madgwick, dominant display yet again this year in the world final. We've discussed it on many podcasts so far this year. He was deemed by the Cage Nation to be the sort of worthy of the driver of the year accolade. 26.08% of the votes.
It's not. I mean, not surprising really. I mean, Jack Overy to go second of all time, and what's kind of seen as his protege really winning. And I mean, looking at the results, the top three anyway. Basically, Kieran Bowman got a fifth of the votes. Jack Overy got slightly just more than a fifth, and Sid Madgwick got a quarter of the entire results. So I mean, that's a fairly comprehensive victory for him, and we won't be thought too much about his excellent World Final in 2021. But I mean, it's good to see that his results and the fact that he's just done so well in a short space of time is being recognised and appreciated by the Cage Nation.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
Brick, as master of the votes, have we ever had a top three that close in the voting? I don't think we ever have we? And I think that just goes to show.
No, we never have. No, we've always had a front runner that sort of takes off quite early. But no, obviously, sort of putting it in the group chat and whatnot. But at points, yeah, they were all tied. I mean, but Bowman was leading at one point. Sid overtook. Then Jack sort of had an influx of votes, and yeah, it was very much until the final day of voting where Sid sort of slunk a couple of extra votes in, and there was not much in it at all. I think there's probably 4 or 5 votes between first and third, so it wasn't a lot at all.
Yeah,
in the end.
And we'll come on to it in later categories as well, but Kieran as well in so many other categories as well. So a lot of votes for him all over. One thing I will say is that we've talked before about almost winning the World Championship is almost the start of it. It's about how you wear that gold top and how you represent that championship going forward. Aside from retaining the World Championship in the worst conditions I've ever seen at a World Final, it just goes to show a lot of people really do appreciate just what a great champion Sid's been and will no doubtedly be again in 2022.
Yeah, inevitably. I mean, he's sort of had a very good tail end of the year. Obviously, won the UK Open as well, down at Ringwood this month, and stunning car. Obviously, the Mark II Granada looked the business as well as going the business as well. And he's a great ambassador for sport. He's an all-round nice guy. Stops and talks to anyone, and I think them sort of figures is what you need in the racing industry.
Yeah, I mean, in that rain-soaked Ipswich, just looking around the stands, you could see what a popular winner he was. I think once he got away, and people realised that maybe their favourite wasn't going to win, I think everyone then turned to just cheer Sid over that line, and it was such a commanding World Final win in those conditions. We spoke about it a lot in our review. I mean, I was there with you, Jord. It was great, wasn't it, to see just how popular and respected Sid has become in such a relatively short amount of time, really, as a national banger driver.
Yeah, definitely. I think Sid had a couple of appearances in the national bangers in 2019 when he started to slow down from the saloon stock cars a lot more, and he was spending a lot more time with obviously Lauren, who he's recently moved in with Liverpool House together. So as a result, he was obviously spending a lot more time down at Jack Overy's yard. But 2020 was when he really burst on scene. He qualified, I think it was through the Mildenhall points chart, largely thanks to a really good display at the Supreme Championship that year. The Supreme was running mid to late March, I think. And yeah, Sid on his World Final debut just looked so assured, and looked like he'd been racing in the national bangers for years. And again this year, you know, I think we may have spoken about it on the podcast after the World Final, but he just seemed to come on at the right time. You know, maybe on paper results haven't been as good as you might expect world champions to be, and I mean, like, with the greatest respect, but in terms of what he's done for the sport, I mean, every single time I've asked him, he's always been up for an interview. He's travelled well. He's worn the gold roof with pride, and yeah, he's done what's been expected of him. He also showed his wrecking exploits at Skegness teams. He delivered that really good hit to 625 Josh Gooch in the DD. There's a couple of really good photos of that online. But yeah, no, Sid for me is definitely been a real star of the scene for not just this season, but over the last 18 months or so. So yeah, fully deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we said on the World Final Review podcast, it's given his relatively young age and the fact he's raced 2 World Finals, won 2 World Finals. We're talking about a driver here that could be at the top of the sport for a long time to come, really, and it's great to see that. So absolutely very worthy winner to take the Cage Driver of the Year. And so yeah, I think unless anyone's got anything else to say, congratulations to 217 Sid Madgwick.
Oh, very much so. And I think as well, Bryson, in basically the top 10, we had a lot of other very well-known names. Do you want to give them to us in no particular order?
Yeah, so obviously nominees-wise, well, you say about world champions. There's another 2 within there. Obviously Lakey, also speed world champion, smashed the BWS Entertainers League as well. Nathan Roberts took the sort of 2 litre world title as well. And you got very, very good drivers in Reedy, Ario, Maskell, Steve-O, and Jack Tuffin, and then Emmons, Laurie 160 as well. So yeah, all great nominees there.